reminiscing about the seats and Lee Valley.
This is it. It's where it happened. All right.
Looking good.
Well, thank you.
Sweaty, but good.
Oh, I'm always sweaty.
Always sweaty.
Yeah.
Okay, Army Navy.
Army Navy.
I have to be fairly sort of impartial, which obviously you won't be.
Yeah.
I've only ever been once.
Have you?
Yeah. And we lost. I say we, the army lost, which was like,
yeah.
Why even bother coming anymore? And I was surrounded by people who probably had far too many beers as well.
Yeah.
Now, the Army Navy match is 80,000 people, a huge TV audience, partnership with Sky. You know, what does that whole aspect, I suppose, is not only a huge social event, but a chance for veterans and serving personnel to meet up and have a beer and have a bit of a catch up. Absolutely.
You and I have talked both in private and in public about the armed forces being a family, and it's never truer a display of that than when you get to Army Navy. I know it's Army Navy, but it is a big match and it's a massive community of people coming together, all with that shared background. And if you had that many people with that many beers in any other setting, there would just be so much trouble.
Mayhem.
Absolute mayhem. I mean, the military essentially take over Twickenham for 10 or 15 hours, or however long it works out, and it is absolute carnage. But it's like a big family wedding.
Yeah.
It's controlled carnage. It's everyone in the same community with the same backstory, and they might have gone off back into work, they might still be serving, whatever it might be, they're all coming back together for this one day of the year. They've always got it on that social calendar that Army Navy is booked.
Once again, there's going to be potential competitors for Invictus Toronto there with their families and friends. What advice would you give to people in the audience at the Army Navy match who, whether they're injured or not, maybe struggling, whether they're a veteran or serving?
Yeah, well, this is, I think, being involved in the Invictus process, you do understand that there's still people that either aren't in the medical process and you perhaps consider themselves to be fully fit, fully functioning, but we all know that mental health problems in particular take a while to manifest themselves. People might not come forward with them because maybe it affects their chance of employment, or they think it affects their chance of employment and things like that. So there will be people in that stadium and watching on TV at home that are struggling with things and may need some help, but hopefully they can look around at the Invictus competitors and see the stuff which they've gone through, so obviously gone through, and are overcoming, and can see that there's that way to overcome it. There are so many different organisations that can help anonymously if needs be. Sure. Certainly some of my friends in particular lines of work are worried about the anonymity of it, and we can be anonymous. If you want to get help, you can come forward and do it privately. It's not a problem.
And the support structure is like nothing else that exists out there.
The social events where you're surrounded by your mates, and maybe it might take 1 or 2 beers to get out of you. Yeah. You just have that conversation.
1 or 2, not 8 or 10.
Yeah, drink sensibly.
Yeah. And it is a timing issue. You can't force anybody to come like that, come forward. But it's a buddy system. It's ingrained in us. Yeah. Every single person. Don't ever think don't want anyone to ever think that they don't have the tools to be able to help their mate. Yeah. Everybody does. And the most comforting thing to know is that the person you're talking to has shared similar experiences. You've worn the same uniform. I'm not suggesting the army lads start talking to the Navy guys, or vice versa. In fact, they can, but just don't talk to the crabs.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
I think that's very valid, to be honest.
That's very valid.